guys, Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with a new One Piece video along with Charmander in the background as always. And in today's One Piece video, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys my first place Trafalgar lore deck profile. We took this to locals this week. We came first place, going EXO, undisputed champion throughout the entire tournament, and honestly it was a lot of fun playing the deck that I still love and is also my favorite character. So let's go ahead and actually get into the deck a bit and talk about what the rounds were. So round one was against Film Shanks. Obviously, not that hard. Film Shanks isn't really the most well-known leader, but it was still a good match nonetheless. Round two was against Kinemon. Honestly, didn't have an issue, just kept dropping blockers, kept doing the normal things that we would do against the deck, and we won very easily. Round 3 was against Whitebeard, smacked him. Round 4 was against Whitebeard, again, smacked him. Just keep applying pressure to Whitebeard players, guys, and you will win just because their hand size just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, whereas their life also gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then round 5 was against a Zephyr player, which we came very close to losing, but that game we didn't draw any of our search cards. We purely had to rely on our ability to just keep the advantage in the board, not waste 2k counters on really useless things, and really be careful with how we use the blockers that we had. So all really good games, and we came out on top with EXO. So yeah, pretty much whole day was great. Great matches, everybody played really well. But now that I've talked about that, let's actually get into the deck so you guys can see what we're playing. So obviously, starting off, we're playing our leader lore, pay 2 Don, go ahead and return a character to your hand, and then play a character with a different color, which is 5 or less. So pretty basic, that's the leader's ability. Going into characters, starting off with our characters that will search us more cards, we're playing 4 Nami. She searches us any Straw Hats by looking at the top 5 cards. For Bonnie, she goes ahead and taps herself, pays 1 Don, and adds any Supernova from the top 5 cards of our deck to our hand. And then also a new card for Dadan to go ahead and add any 1 drop from the top 5 cards of our decks to our hand. These are all really important. You want to be playing 4 of each of these because these keep the consistency up, and you're going to keep returning them to your hand and then replaying them to keep getting more and more advantage to keep the game going. You want to make sure you can get as much advantage as you want throughout the entire game, and these 12 cards will ensure that you have the consistency. The Dadan will get you all your 1 drops, such as your Otamas, your Makinos, more Namis. Your Namis will go ahead and get you Choppers, will get you Luffy's, will get you Namis, will get you Brooks, and your Bonnies will go ahead and get you your 5-drop Laws, will get you your Supernova cards, and everything along those lines. So you want to be playing all of these in the deck. They are all very important and need to be maxed out. Going into blockers, we're playing the 4 Chopper. This is very standard, like you want to be playing 4 Chopper. He's a 1-drop blocker and will help you get more characters on the board because you want to get to 5 characters as soon as possible. Most likely by turn 3, normally your 3rd turn, you want to have at least 5 characters on the board so you can go ahead and utilize the ability of Lore to return it to the hand and then play a 5-drop Lore. Then we also play the 4 Capone Beges, essentially 4 more Choppers. No reason not to play 4 Capone and 4 Chopper. They are basically the same card, except one's green and one's red. And then the only other blocker we're playing is 4 Trafalgar Lore. Honestly, it's Trafalgar Lore. He is the best blocker in the entire deck for a lot of different reasons. 1, he's a 6k blocker, so you can go ahead and rest him and stop any 5k character from hitting your leader. And 2, on play, you can go ahead and return your Namis, your Dadans, your Zoros, your Vistas to your hand to either search, destroy stuff, or be able to swing again for more pressure on the board. This card does everything in your deck. You want to be able to search this card throughout your deck as quickly as possible, which is why we play 4 Bonnie, and he is really just the strongest card in the deck and really just makes the deck work. Like, if this card didn't exist, I don't think this deck would be as good as it is, and because it's here, it just has so many utilities and is really good, especially being a 6k power character that can just go ahead and swing into Whitebeard as well. So if you've already got like Choppers and Beges on the board, you can go ahead and swing into your opponent's Whitebeard to put more pressure on them as well. So 4 of him, absolutely necessary. He helps you do tricks, he helps you go ahead and go for more pressure, goes ahead and gets you more advantage. There is no downsides to this card in the deck. Those are all the blockers we're playing. You don't need to play any other blockers. Like, I was playing the killers originally, but because we wanted more consistency, I chose to cut those and go for the more consistent route, where we could also put more protection in and also have more versatility in the deck. So we're not playing killer anymore because of that. Then going into the 2k counters though, we're playing the For Otama, she's really good. She can go ahead and decrease our opponent's characters and also has a 2k counter. For Makino, she can go ahead and increase our 1-drop characters, our 1-drop red characters by 3k, and is also a 2k character, so we can go ahead and make Nami be able to swing in the leader very easily, meaning we have to invest less Don into the Nami. So just go ahead and play her, tap her, put Nami on 5k. That's 1 Don for a 5k swing. Just really good, and then we can return her to the hand with the lore ability to go ahead and just keep going on with advantage and keep having these 2k counters in our hand. And then for Brook, essentially a free character in the deck where we can go ahead and play him for 2 cost, put 2 Don on any of our cards, and still have all the other Don left, not needing to invest it into characters. He essentially is just another body and a 2k counter that can keep us alive, and also just swing up potentially as well if he stays on the board until the following turn. Those are all the 2k counters we play. You don't need to play any other 2k counters, to be really honest, guys. Like, these are the most important ones, where the Otama can go ahead and allow you just decrease things to kill things. The Brook can just go ahead and be a free body to get to your 5 character limit as quickly as possible. And the Makino can just go ahead and increase your armies to give you more pressure plays on the opponent. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need any other 2k counters. So these are just the best ones in my opinion. Going on to cards that will actually kill opponents' characters, we're playing for Vista, another new character in the deck, which does essentially on play, you KO any character your opponent controls with 3k or less power. He is really, really strong, honestly, guys. Like, especially in this deck, for the fact that you can go ahead and play him, play 5-drop lore, return this to the hand, and play him again, essentially being able to kill 2 characters with 3k or less power. This can kill multiple choppers, this can kill things that you've decreased with your Otama. This card is very, very strong and very, very useful, and is just so much better than Robin because its ability is on play. So you want to be playing 4 of him. He's not searchable via anything in the deck, which is why we play 4 of him. So make sure you max out on him. And we also, along with him, play the 2 Robin. Essentially, we cut Robin down to 2 now because Vista is just better in every way. He's on play, he can go ahead and be returned to the hand's usability again. He's just really, really strong. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't play Robin anymore. Robin is still in her own right really, really strong, being able to use the essential Vista ability every single turn, where you can just go ahead and slap a Don on her, swing into the leader, and kill a 3k or less character. Yes, she's not as good as Vista, whereas Vista can do it on play, and you can go ahead and do tricks with him with the Trafalgar lore, but she is still an essential card and is searchable via stuff like Nami. So you still want to be playing her in the deck. And then the only other card we do play in the deck that actually can kill things is 2 Gum Gum Jet Pistol. Still an insanely powerful card. Being able to KO any character with 6k or less power just for 4 Don is very, very useful. And he's also got the trigger to go ahead and, if you get it off life, you can go ahead and just kill anything. I don't think you need to be playing more than 2 of this because, well, let's be honest, guys, you want to get it off the life mainly, and in your hand it's not a counter, it doesn't help you, it doesn't keep you alive, but it does help remove things, which is why 2 is fine. I want to play as many things that can counter or has a purpose outside of countering, essentially to increase our chances of not losing life, increase our chances of staying alive, and just being able to just kill our opponent. And I feel like if I put a 3rd one of this in, it would just really just stop us from surviving as well. So yeah, I feel like 2 is enough. We can get it off trigger still, and it will remove stuff like blockers and characters that are 6k or less, or even 8k characters if we have an Otama. So card is still really, really good, but we don't need more than 2. And yeah, that's pretty much all the things that will actually kill things. And then for cards that do actually apply pressure onto the opponent, we're playing 2 Rush Zoro. I chose to cut this down to 2 for multiple reasons. One, the card isn't as good as it was last format, because last format, every leader had 5k power. This format, Whitebeard exists, so Zoro isn't essentially as strong as it was last format, so I've chosen to cut it down to 2. But nonetheless, this card is still really, really strong, being able to go ahead and return it with Lore to go ahead and swing again, and all things across those lines, and it's just an on-play, free swing into the opponent's cards, so we still want to play it in the deck. I just chose to put it down to 2, especially seeing as it doesn't have a counter as well, meaning it can also hinder us in that aspect. But along with him, which is essentially the 3rd Rush Zoro, is the Monkey D. Luffy. Now, we obviously want to play Monkey D. Luffy. He is absolutely insane for the pure fact that you can go ahead and slap 2 Dawn on him and get around every one of your opponent's Whitebeard players, specifically blockers. Like, in the end game against a Whitebeard player, when they have low cards in hand, they're going to be relying on those blockers. And if you've got, say, 4 Don left and a green character on board, you're going to return that green character to your hand, play this Monkey D. Luffy, slap 2 Don on it, and swing it into your opponent for game. And honestly, the amount of times where this comes up in testing and in real life play is unimaginable. We search him with the Nami, and we just keep going from there until the point where we can play him and then just kill our opponent with him. The card is really, really strong. It gets around up every blocker in the game and is mainly just a kill card in the deck. So we want to be playing him at least 1. I did debate playing him at 2, but I felt like 1 was enough. We didn't really need more, and I wanted to keep space for obviously counter cards, as I said, to keep us alive. We want to survive, and that's how we win these games. So yeah, these are the red pressure cards that we play. For the green pressure cards that we play, we actually play 3 Trafalgar Law, the restanding one. Now, this card is absolutely insane. Now, just imagine you're in a situation where you've got your blocker Law and you've got 4 other characters. Now, you put, say, 4 Don on that blocker Law, you swing, they wasted cards in their hand, and you've got this Law in hand. This Law, you're going to go ahead and pay 2 Don, return a character to your hand, play this, which is a 6k beat stick that you can swing them next turn, and then restand your blocker that you can choose to either swing again with, or you can just go ahead and leave it up to be the blocker it's supposed to be. This card is so versatile and so strong in the deck that gives the deck so much more utility and just so much more pressure, just for the fact that restanding your characters is going to help you win. And at times this card has other utilities as well, such as, say, if you've played the Rush Luffy already, to go ahead and just be able to get around your opponent, and you've swung with it and you've killed most of the cards in your hand. Say you have this and you haven't used that bounce ability, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and use the bounce ability, return red to the hand, play this, restand the Luffy, and we're going to swing again and get through your blockers again. Like, honestly, card is really, really insane. It's got a counter on it as well, so it can go ahead and go and protect your life if you're not going to play the card. And I feel like this card could even be bumped up to 4 in the deck, but as of right now, I'm happy with it at 2, and I don't feel like I need, 3, and I don't feel like I need more of it, but the card is just really, really strong. Being able to restand our Lord to go ahead and choose to use as a blocker or swing again, being able to just help us get more pressure on the board, help us get more big characters to go ahead and swing into our opponent's whitebeards. The card is really, really strong, and just the fact that it has counter alone makes the card absolutely insane. But guys, that is actually the last 3 cards that we play in the deck. This is the entire deck, and honestly, I really like the deck, guys. Like, just in testing alone, I'm very happy with it, and taking it to locals, going EXO, being the best deck, which is Whitebeard, and also going against Kinemon and other decks that are just really, really good, like Zephyr. Like, Zephyr is a really underdog deck that a lot of people don't actually look at, and like, Law is just a really, really strong deck, and it's really, really powerful overall. So guys, that is just my list for Trafalgar Law. Tell me what you think of it in the comment section below. Do you think it's a good list? Do you think it's a bad list? Is there anything you're changing in it? Is there anything you can do to make the list better? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, because honestly, I'm always trying to innovate this deck. I am trying other things as well, guys, so don't worry. There will be other lists on the channel, such as like Kinemon list that I'm working on, that should hopefully come on the channel at some point. But right now, I'm playing Law, I'm having fun with it, and honestly, it's still one of the best decks in the game. So guys, that is all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video though, that you want to see more One Piece content on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Absolute Duelist, signing out. Later all.